today we're going to talk about 4 tips, 4 strategies, 4 things that my guest did to build a 7-figure freight agent business. Okay, so she's a freight agent. So why don't I bring her up really quick? And I think you guys will probably recognize her. All right, this is my friend, and I'm going to murder her last name because I'm terrible at these names, but Lida Hakobian.
You did a great job, Danny.
All right, awesome. So Lida is a freight agent. And who are you with, Lida?
I'm with Freight Tech.
Freight Tech. She's an agent for Freight Tech. She found her home over a year ago now, I think, wasn't it? About a year ago?
Yes,
Yeah.
I started in June.
Yeah, about a year ago, she found her home at Freight Tech, and she's doing extremely well. You've got a really interesting background. For those that didn't catch the first interview, if you guys want to try to catch that, you can go to my YouTube channel and go to Freight Agent Interview, Freight Agent Success Stories, and you can see her interview there where she kind of talks about her origin story. But why don't you just give a quick intro to everybody, let them know, quick background, and then where you're located right now, and we'll go from there.
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Lida Hakobian, and I'm a freight broker with Freight Tech. Actually, I started my logistics journey back 2016 as a truck driver, and I did some dispatching after that. And then after being tired of all these rude brokers, I decided I will be the nicest broker possible. So I decided to go into brokerage. I took Dennis Brown course, and I worked hard, and I gained my customers, and I did over 1.2 million in sales this year.
And where are you based out of right now? Now I know you travel a lot. You're a big traveler. You love to travel. So where are you at now?
I am joining you from Armenia. So I came here to open my agency, and
So you're from Armenia, but then you lived in the States, and now right now currently you're back traveling in Armenia.
Yes, I'm just visiting, yeah.
So you're like the jet set freight agent.
Yes, I am, working remotely, traveling, yeah.
All right, great. So listen, everybody's eager and anxious to find out what the secret is, right? Everybody thinks there's these big secrets. And the things you're going to share today, I'm going to tell you, everybody that's listening to this, you have probably heard every one of these things before, but I wanted to have Lida on because when I say these things, you don't believe me. Okay. For whatever reason, you guys don't believe me. I wanted you to hear it directly from her because she's the one who's done this and is literally expanding, growing her brokerage. I think she's going to do over $2 million in sales this year. Do you agree?
Yes.
She's going to do over $2 million in sales this year. What are your profit margins typically, percentage wise? I think it was about 15. Yeah, about
almost 16. Yeah.
Almost 16%. So on $2 million in sales at 16%, that's over $320,000 in gross profit. And trust me, she doesn't have a lot of overhead. Okay. Other than when she books these crazy flights across the ocean, I'm sure that gets expensive. But listen, she's going to share with you 4 tips. And I just want you guys to lean in, take some notes. All right. So why don't you take it away, Lida? Give us those 4 tips. Start out with number 1, and then we'll work our way through.
So first tip I want to share with you is finding your niche. I know that when I just started, I was listening Dennis Brown, and I was thinking what this man is saying, how I should find my niche, how there are so many niches, how I should find the right one. But the thing is, you cannot figure it out in one day, you have to try, and you have to see what is working, and you have to see what you are capable to do. For example, for me, I was a reefer driver, and I thought, let's do the reefer. But when I found my first reefer customer, I didn't have any experience as a freight broker agent. And it was very difficult for me because reefer is very time sensitive, and this customer was very demanding. Of course, I understand it is his product requirements. Then I always liked geometry, so I decided let's go into flatbed. And then I started only doing flatbed. But during the process, you gain a little bit different, niches, but the main niche still stays, the ones that you focus, because sometimes customers they might have drive and load once in a while, right? and it is not difficult to like move this load. If you do hard shot or flatbed driving, it's very easy. But the main focus, you still, want to focus on one niche. So how do you find this niche? You just look what you like. I know a freight broker who used to be military, so he focuses only on military freight because that's what he knows, that's what he likes. If you like farming or if you like produce, then maybe go and try to do reefer. If you like dry products, go and do dry products. And also it depends what kind of experience you have, what you know more about, because when you are trying to talk to customer, you have to have an idea what you are talking, because if you don't have an idea about flatbed loads, when you call them or you visit them, then it will be very hard and they will feel that you don't know, all this
Yeah,
stuff.
I love that. I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. And Lita just said it. Riches are in niches. You got to niche down, especially when you first start. There's this misunderstanding or confusion when you come into the industry as a freight broker or freight agent that you need to be a jack of all trades, master of none, because if you don't, you might miss an opportunity. The problem is you can't be an expert in everything. You can't service everything. You can't even fully understand every niche, right? Because every niche has its nuances. So what Lita did, she tried a niche. It wasn't what she liked. It wasn't what she felt she was going to be really good at. So she pivoted to another niche and she found her home. And that's what I want you guys to understand. Just because you start out with one niche doesn't mean you're committed to that forever. If it's not working for you, you can always pivot. Okay. Talk to us about number two.
Yes, now number two tip I want to share is start local. I think starting with local companies, visiting them, just introducing yourself and saying, hey, I am based out of, like, let's say South Carolina. I am your neighbor. I am right in front of you. I can come even to visit you. This is like great starting point, and maybe you will find someone who knows you. You never know, or even if you don't find. So what I used to do, I will just get like cupcakes, like 10 cupcakes or 15 cupcakes, my favorite one, different ones. And you have to dress accordingly, of course. You have to have business cards. Even in the beginning, I didn't have business card, honestly. I would just take my paper and pen and I will just write down. And when you go, you just don't say, hey, I am freight broker. You ask questions. You go inside. You check what they are doing. You go to warehouse, because sometimes these warehouse guys, they are very helpful. They give the shipping manager information. They give this email. They advise whom you should reach out. And you have to be like curious, because I have seen like people, even like when they are sharing something, you have to look professional. I think it is also very important that we don't focus a lot, but I think it is very important.
Yeah, no, local is a great idea. Now, some
Yeah.
people are very comfortable, like addressing people face to face. And some people like to kind of hide behind the phone. I love the phone, but I also know the power of face to face, especially
Yeah.
when you're local, because you're going to be able to speak not only the lingo of the freight that they're moving, but you're going to be able to speak the lingo of the life they live. So I'm in
Yes.
Buffalo. You can talk about the Buffalo Bills. You could talk about the
Yes.
Buffalo Sabres. You could talk about the waterfront. You could talk about, any number of things that are specifically local that are relevant and contextual to that person, and that's going to build rapport, right? If I'm in Buffalo and I'm calling somebody from San Diego, California, yeah, we're both Americans, we're both in the US, but but on a local level, we have nothing in common, right? And so it's a lot harder for me to build that bond because I don't have that in common. So starting out local, I think, is a great idea. It'll really help you understand who your customers are. Lita said, get into their warehouse, check out their shipping operations, ask good questions. If you go out to their facilities, it's going to totally change the way you think about your customer, because you will have actually stepped on that dock. And Lita left one very important element to that tip. Here's what I can tell you about every person who works on a dock or shipping. They all love cupcakes.
Yes.
Okay. They
I
all
do.
love treats. They all love little small gifts like that. So if you bring a little teeny small gift, it will definitely grease the wheels to get you in that door and to get a conversation started. All right. Awesome. So that's number two, which is,
Can I add a little bit?
yes, of course.
The thing is, they get a lot of phone calls, and sometimes they just hang up because they are busy. But when you go there, they cannot hang up. They have to talk to you, and they will remember you. Sometimes I even visited the same customer twice. Honestly, like it is very important, even when visiting. You don't have to go like 100 miles, 200 miles, just local, 50 miles.
Yes.
I was very fortunate that I was living in South Carolina and we had a lot of companies. So in like 50-mile radius, I could find like 10, 20 companies.
Let's move on to number three.
Yes. So number three, my favorite one, which I learned from Dennis again, LinkedIn. I know that people say, okay, what I am going to post. I don't know what to write. So, guys, if I don't know English, English is my third language. And you see how I speak English. I speak perfect English. So, if I can write, then you can write. What I did, like, let's say I moved my first lot. So, what I learned, even if it is like very simple thing, I used to share everything. I learned, oh, hello, I am very happy to share that I moved my first lot. And I would explain what I learned during this process, what I did, what mistakes I did, what great things I did. Try to be like persistent and be active in LinkedIn because your potential customers are in LinkedIn. And you have to show yourself in LinkedIn. You have to show your knowledge. You have to show your hard work. Even if you are just starting, people saw that I am learning, I am sharing. They knew that I am new. They knew that I have no clue what I am doing, but they gave me opportunity. One customer even gave me like three opportunity, four opportunity. Finally, I moved his lot. And after that, he gave me like 200 lots. So it is very important to show your hard work. And again, LinkedIn, please put professional pictures.
Yeah, I listen,
My opinion, yeah.
you know me. I'm a huge LinkedIn fan, right?
Yes, yes,
LinkedIn was the primary customer acquisition tool that we used after 2008 when I joined LinkedIn,
yes,
okay? So from
yes.
there on forward, we did millions and millions of dollars worth of business using LinkedIn. So I'm a huge fan there. But like anything, the platforms change over time. But what Lita did, and I watched her do this, okay, because number one, she bought my no cold calling course, okay, and we talked about that in the first one. And she asked me for a refund, and I told her, no, go back and work on it because I know it works. And she went back and worked on it. Then she contacted me and said she was sorry because she got her first customer. And we became very good friends at that point because she realized that I wasn't, I was only trying to help her. And now she uses it as a great tool. But I've watched her very carefully. And what I've watched her do is she will put content out on LinkedIn almost every day. And that content was content about her, about what she's doing in her current business, things she's done in the past, when she was a truck driver, and just things in general that created awareness of who she was, number one, created engagement because people would comment or like, and then she was able to take those conversations and pivot those conversations offline. I mean, the fact is, nobody's going to give you a load in the comments of a LinkedIn post, but that's not the goal, right? The goal is
I
to
got a lot from the comments, Dennis.
oh my
Not,
God.
never say never, okay? Because
Oh my God. You're way better than me, that's for sure. Because I'm telling you, the goal is to simply start a conversation with your target market. And I know creating content and putting content out there is a little scary for some people, but I promise you it works. And if you're a freight broker or a freight agent and your niche is produce, or your niche is steel, or your niche is building supplies, or your niche is international freight, I promise you your prospects are on LinkedIn. So you need to be there. All right, that's number three. Let's talk about number four.
my number four favorite one, giving presents, sending pizza, personalized presents. Besides cupcakes, like let's say you have this potential customer, or maybe he gave you one code, send them pizza, It is like only $25. Trust me, it is worth, paying this money. And also, like when you give, God or universe will give you back. Maybe it will give you back from another customer, but you have to be open to give. You don't have to go and spend all this money, You don't have to spend a lot of money, but you have to put a little bit touch, or that people can feel that, you want to do business with them. I think it is very important. My customers, I sent last time, it was my customer birthday. I sent him two pizzas, one Hawaiian, one buffalo chicken. And it turned out these two, it is his favorite, but I didn't know that it is his favorite. I just sent my favorite pizzas. And he
Oh
said,
my
"Oh,
gosh.
Linda, you are so kind. You sent me my favorite pizza." I said, "Okay." Well, and he didn't give me lots, It has been like 2, 3 weeks. He didn't give me lots, but that's fine. Maybe next month he will be more active. Their season will come, or they will have more stuff, and he will remember me. And I think he will still give me, some lots to move.
Yeah, I love that. So here's the thing. She does this not only with customers that are giving her loads, but with prospects who have never given her loads.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe they just gave me one quote,
Yeah. So
yeah.
she spoke to somebody, they gave her the opportunity to quote the freight. She didn't get the load for whatever reason, but she saw the opportunity. She saw the value of that shipper. So she said, you know what? I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to invest a small amount of money for a potential huge return. So you put out 20 or 25 bucks and buy a pizza and have it delivered unsolicited without letting them know, all right, that you're going to send it. And the change in the type of conversation that you're going to have with that person, you got to understand, when you give something to somebody, they naturally want to reciprocate. Okay.
Yeah.
They want to reciprocate. Now, I can't promise you this is going to work 100% of the time, but here's what I can promise you. If you develop the basic rapport with a shipper and they give you the opportunity to quote on a shipment, and you send that person a pizza, okay, and you do that 20 times, 20 prospects, and you're doing 20 quotes, and you're not getting the freight, and you're sending pizza to 20 of those people, let's call that a $500 investment. Now that seems like a lot, right? $500, oh my God, that's a lot of money. And for a startup it is, but here's the thing. If you get one small shipper, just one small shipper that's giving you one load per week, okay, and you're making 200 bucks on that load, you just turned a $500 investment into over $10,000 in profit. And that's year one. And that's just one shipper.
Yes.
Now I'm confident you're going to get more than 1 out of 20 because of that reciprocation and because of the goodwill and the relationship you're going to develop. So I absolutely love that idea that she did talk about with prospects. And with customers, it goes without saying, right? And you should be doing these things other than just Christmas time, other than just their birthday, right? Because what's happening is this would be my tip to you, Lita. It's very common for customers to get gifts around the holidays. So what happens is if you give a gift around the holiday, that's great, but it's almost expected in some ways. The best time to give a gift is when nobody else is giving them a gift.
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody gives a gift for the 4th of July. Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a gift for Halloween. Nobody gives a gift for just some random day throughout the year that you're declaring a holiday.
I will just do the special shopping to bring gifts to my customers from Armenia. So
yeah, I love it. Yeah. So giving a gift, and again, it's kind of that adage, right? It's the gift that keeps on giving. If you do this, if you practice this, leveraging that to help develop relationships with prospects and your customers, you're going to differentiate yourself from the competition. And those are the things that Lita's talked about today, right? Ways to differentiate herself, ways to start conversations, ways to develop rapport and relationships. And it's no shock to me, and it shouldn't be a shock to you, that she's going to do $2 million in sales. And so I'm so happy that you're here. I'm so proud of you because you are really amazing. And you're a great example of what can happen for anybody, male, female, from the US, from Armenia, young, old, whatever the case may be. You're a great example of what can be. So I'm super excited that you're here. Thank you so much. Is there anything you want to add?
Yes, I was just sharing that achieving extraordinary results isn't the lottery. The truth is nothing worth having comes easy. That's what makes it worth it. Hustle, hustle, again hustle, and be persistent.
I love it. I love it.
Yes,
It's not a
yes,
lottery. You know, I talked
yeah,
about this on a Facebook, a random Facebook post, nothing to do with freight brokering, but I talked about kind of that lottery mentality where, you know, people rely on luck and they rely, you know, and hope is beautiful, but it's not a winning strategy. You have to do the work. It's that
yes,
simple. Okay. You know, having hope and feeling lucky and even sometimes being lucky is great, but it's not going to build you a sustainable and predictable long-term business. So I know that Lita's not relying on luck. I didn't rely on luck. None of my other students have relied on luck, and you won't be able to either. But if you apply the 4 tips you talked about today, I'm confident that that's going to pay you dividends and returns in the future. So, Lita, truly appreciate you being here. Listen, if anybody, if you're curious about becoming a freight broker or a freight agent like Lita, check out freightbrokerbootcamp.com. We've trained over 10,000 students, been in business over a decade, and we offer a 60-day, 100% unconditional money back guarantee. Okay. Now, for those of you that have been waiting patiently or want to be a part of my Freight Broker Sales Accelerator, which is going to be launching very, very soon. Okay. I can tell you in the next week, this thing's going to launch. Okay. So the Freight Broker Sales Accelerator is where I take that piece of my brain about freight broker sales strategies, systems, tools, and I transplant it into your head in a 5-week coaching program. Now, it's not a free program, but if you want to be on the wait list and you want to get considered, I limit this to 100 students at a time. Okay. So if you want a chance to do that, you got to get on the wait list. You can check it out, freightbrokerbootcamp.com/waitlist. And again, stay tuned because I'm going to be launching that. It's going to launch. I'm going to open enrollment in the next week. So if you're not on the list, you definitely will not have a chance. It's free to get on the wait list. But again, the program is an investment, but I promise you, you'll get a 10x multiple return on whatever you invest in that program. So thank you so much, Lita, for being here.